everybody, to the Tanya Hoffman's fabulous TV show. I am Tanya Hoffman, and these are my fabulous guests. We've got the incredible Miss Jim Pagamsis. Yay! And that is how you pronounce his name, by the way. And then we've got Cheryl Jennings, who will be joining us hopefully in a minute. She's having some technical difficulties. So tell us a little bit, Jim, about you, and then we'll kind of go into our whole topic today.
So my name is Jim Pagamsis, founder of 21 Connections, where I do three things: learn, speak, and socialize. And today I'm excited to share this topic because this is exactly what I did many years ago. I'm going to share a little bit of my story of how I wrote an article and what I did with it. So I think that even now in 2016, you're in a perfect opportunity to take your experience and make money with it. And I'll share something maybe I'm going to today that's specifically regarding this topic. So it's a real life opportunity that just has been happening here to me. And I think that I appreciate Tanya inviting me here because you want to hear of things happening, and I'm going to tell you how they happened. And I hope it gives you some faith and some confidence that it can happen to you.
Exactly. Thank you. You couldn't have said it better. And this is what it's really about, right? It's movement. You know, that's what I find for most people. Jim's a perfect example, right? Jim, you have this kind of infectious personality that a lot of people are like, well, I can't be Jim and I can't be Tanya, so can I really do this thing called speaking? And my answer is always yes, because I wasn't always like this.
Don't trust the picture. I still can't believe that picture. Let me show that picture. Show the picture. Show the picture. Yeah, fine.
Me as an introvert, 2005, everyone. So if I can get over it, anybody can get over it. So let's see if Miss Cheryl can get back on. But, you know, that's really what it's about. I've seen you grow, like even the last year. You know, my whole goal every year is to look back at myself the year before and not recognize myself, you know. So do you find that too, Jim, that it's just about movement for you? It's about getting out there and doing?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about this talk today and how can I be succinct and clear with what I want to share. And at the end of the day is, I'll tell you everybody, this is going to sound a little weird, but I've taken a page out of the Tanya Hoffman book. And this is what I'll tell everybody is, if you're not moving, what are you accomplishing? And years ago in 2008, I wrote an article. I actually wrote 4 articles. And I actually leveraged them. I went out and I got speaking opportunities. I spoke to engineering organizations and so forth. I didn't know any different. And to this day, I still do the same thing. And one of the things I mentioned Tanya is because I think that if you're not listening, you're not learning, and you're not applying, where are you going to get the result? So you can write articles, you can write an ebook, you can write a book, and go out there and make it happen. And I believe that if you're not doing it, what are you doing? And now you have the unfair advantage where you can get on Blab here and talk to people. You can create your own website very, very quickly. You can go out there and network and reverse engineer a talk. And this is where you need to be plugged in. So check out the Public Speakers Association. We have a fantastic, not just organization, a community, but a great website where you can plug in and listen to virtual summits. You can plug in to do this. You can get interviewed by Tanya on her show. So I think there's a lot of places you can make that movement today. You don't have to wait till 3 days from now to be all perfect. And I think sometimes that you have to get over that quickly to make it happen at the end of the day. So I hope that kind of maybe starts the conversation a little bit.
You know, I just had this fantastic conversation with a lady. I was just on her show not too long ago. And this is why she has an issue with getting people to how to make money from things that she's doing. And so people are like, you know, I'm speaking, but nothing's happening, right? I'm on Blab, I'm on this, I'm on Periscope, I'm, you know, out there in the world, but nothing's happening. And it's because you're not strategically figuring out how to connect with real people, how to build those relationships that are going to make the massive amount of exposure popular. So if the other day I was a lady, she was here on Blab just listening in, and she's like, oh my gosh, you know, I love what you're doing. How can I get speaking opportunities. I'm like, well, let's talk. So we get her offline, we get her on the phone, right? It's about talking to people and really building relationships versus what most people want to do, especially with the internet, is, hey, everybody, just come to my link and just buy. Yeah, that's great when it does happen. When you wake up, you're like, yay, someone bought something, but not, that's not the kind of reality. And I know you're real big into relationships and all.
Yeah, and I think it's a great example. I just literally had 3 days ago, I had a lady reach out to me on LinkedIn. She wants to know more about podcasting. I responded back. I said, thank you for reaching out. Let's get on the phone and connect. She didn't respond yet. Now, why I tell you this, it happens. People will reach out, and I'm going to get on a phone call with her. I'm not going to go back and forth with her. It doesn't work that way. And so I'll tell you an experience what's happening right now. So about 4 years ago, I speak for a group here in Toronto. It's called the Canada Job Expo. And so I'm the founder. I met him through my alumni, through a college. I went to school here in Toronto. So he was doing his events up in northern part of the city. And I said, bring it close to the city. And he did. The rest is history. So he does about 6 events a year. And I bring all the speakers in. So my PSA members get to speak. A lot of them come out, have participated. But now we're taking the business to a new level. So today I have a meeting with myself, Sujit Reddy, who's a PSA member, the founder, Sudeep, and another gentleman. And we're going to be running a boot camp in about 3 months. So he's actually he's going to reveal to us all the creative, all the promotional stuff today. Why I tell you this is it's going to be a paid event. So we have a location already. All we got is to put some of the content together and how we're going to do this. So today we're having the meeting to discuss monetization and how we're going to do this. Why I tell you this is that there was no doubt, like when Sudeep thought about this, he says, I didn't have to think who's going to be involved. He phoned me up. He says, who's the next person? I said, okay, let's get Sujit involved. He has, HR involved. Things happen very fast. And in business, the thing I've realized, you want to hire people who actually work very fast, who take an idea and make it happen. And just like Tanya, she started a PSA in January 2013. And within the first month, things went very well for her. And now, look, we're 3 years later, and we have a North American organization. She's done 2 events, third one happening here in June, and all that. So you can make an impact quick if you want. And I think that we all have the opportunity to do that. And, for me, I'm excited that I get the fact not just to do something I enjoy, but to monetize it. I also got hired to speak at a private school here in Toronto. I put together a 12-week curriculum. And I'm in week 4 right now. We have March break here in Toronto. I created something out of nothing. I was nervous to do this, but I did it. And now we're actually going through the program. And I'm monetizing it. Why tell you these stories? It's all about relationships. The lady found me through Google, led to the PSA website, and led to me. There you go. So people are searching for speakers, but you got to build those relationships. You got to go to a couple of networking events a month. Shake hands, build relationships. Yes, Blab is great. Don't get me wrong, I'm telling you. Blab is great, but you got to reach out and have a coffee. Meet those influencers wherever you are in this world. Even if you're, a place where you don't think there's people around, there's meetups, there's Eventbrite. You got to get out there at least once a week, minimum.
Exactly. And I was just at a big conference in Oakland, and it was interesting to see the reaction of the audience to myself and to the other speakers. So it was someone else's 3-day event. They had 5 15-minute speakers. I flew in from Austin for 15 minutes. Now, that was strategic because when you start looking at, who was going to be in the room, it was their upper level clients. So it made sense for me to go talk to them because they're already people who, they invest in themselves and their companies. So I was there for 3 days. I flew in early and I didn't leave. I didn't speak until the last day. What everyone else did, and this is why they don't make as much income from things like this, is they didn't build relationship. They flew in or drove in, did their thing, and then left right after they were done. So it was like transactional, here, sign up for my discovery session and let's have a talk. And because we couldn't sell from stage, really 15 minutes, you wouldn't sell from stage anyways, but it was interesting. They all got about 10 to 15 people who signed up. So it was going to be interesting to see when I got on stage. And I had built relationships. I had talked to almost everybody there. I'd been part of the involvement. I actually went and did their little activities, which everyone thought was great, and even the people putting it on, they're like, I can't believe you're involved. They loved it. We're building this really tight relationship. And I get up on stage, I do my 15 minutes. Everybody except for 2 signed up for more information. They wanted to talk to me more. And the other 2 actually just bought. They went ahead and was like, just what can I do to fill out? And I think that's the issue, is that are you building real relationships, or are you just trying to do a transaction? Do you feel that too, Jim?
I think so. Here in Toronto, it's a little different, Tanya. I think there's some people who do that, and I've been to a number of events. I've shared this with you many times. I go to a number of different events here in Toronto. I went to one in October last year. The gentleman was speaking to a very sophisticated crowd. I would say he sold nothing. He sat at his table, at the registration table at the end of his talk, and was playing with his phone. I was like, fantastic. But listening to Tanya and Tanya does, when you join the PSA, Tanya does these different modules every month. And just recently you did a module on funnels and how you build a funnel system. And you gave information on how to build something small and work to big. And one of the things, again, we learned is you got to talk to the organizers. What have people bought? And a lot of people don't do the research in advance to see, what can I sell? What can I sell? For example, I'm doing an event this weekend. I'll give you an example. This week I'm doing an event. There's 12 speakers, okay? I have a speaker slot for about 45 minutes. I am going at 9 o'clock. I'm staying for the whole event because it's not about my 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock speaking. Yes, I'm excited to speak about email marketing. I love it. It's going to look at a mini boot camp I'm doing. Yes, I'm going to have a chance to sell. My joint is the whole day. I have a chance to meet some of the influencers, some of the movers and shakers, because I don't meet them that often. I see them on Facebook a lot, but they're going to be there in person at this event. That's the goal, to go and shake hands. Hi, Jane, how you doing? I see you on Facebook. Congratulations on some of the things you're doing. I get to take that social capital, I call talk, and apply it face-to-face. And I appreciate that, Tanya, because I've been doing that for years. Even before I became a speaker, I was going out there networking and finding those opportunities.
Right.
And you can't rely all online. Unfortunately, the sad thing is you can't rely all on Blab. Yes, Blab's great. You have to go out there and physically meet people.
Well, and that's the problem that I see for most people, is that they are thinking of it as, I'm in business. I need to do these things quickly so I can, but it's not you're not monetizing the relationships. You're just monetizing the moment. And I think that's the biggest issue. And then I built relationships with the people that were speaking, right? And they were only there for a few minutes, but then I connected with them. I immediately were like, okay, how can I help you? How can we help each other? And so guess what? Those other 4 people, I got speaking gigs at their event, and one's in France. So it's about the relationships you build and never about just the transaction that you're doing.
Yeah, and again, this may be a good topic to share, maybe in a module, because I think that we take those things for granted sometimes, and I think we do, and I believe that if you go out there with the mentality that you want to grow that, it'll shine through. And when I go to a networking event, people are sometimes like, they're like, wow, I haven't seen you in a while. I go, oh, that's something, a good reason, because I don't want to be everywhere. I want to be at events where I feel I can make an impact and meet those influencers. In Toronto, we have lots of different events happening on a weekly basis. I don't want to go to all the events. I want to go to events where I can make an impact. Yeah. And I think about making money is the fact that Tanya talks about the process where don't build something. Go out there and ask people tell people, throw some ideas out, and then reverse engineer something. And this is something that, again, Tanya talks about all the time, about tweaking. So you may go out and say you want to do an event for women and social entrepreneurs. And ask, is that something of interest? Would you hear about that? And then build something. Yeah. Sort of backwards and tweak it and then figure it out. So I think that you have to have a little bit of a plan to execute to make sure it happens.
Well, and I think a lot of it is about market research. As small entrepreneurs, right, small business owners, we don't get to have these $1 million budgets to do market research. And that's what speaking is, right? You can immediately find out what someone's going to be interested in buying, what they're going to be interested in hearing more of, all of those kind of things by listening. Stop talking and listen to each person and what they're asking for you. So if you're like, well, I don't really know what to build a business around, when you go someplace and you speak about a topic, it may not even be the main topic. They may have heard something in your presentation that makes them go up to you and go, hey, could you help me with whatever that is? You know, I've got a speaking gig in Illinois now at the university there, because they heard me talk about collaboration, and that, you know, that's one of my awards I'm giving away is Collaborator of the Year. And they're like, can you come and talk to us about that? Because I think people don't understand. It's about sharing and building those relationships. So you never know what it is that's going to happen if you take that position, right?
Yeah. Well, one thing happened to me is that many of my friends have told me that I'm a content creator. I've been doing it for years, and believe it or not, I never looked at myself as a content creator. I was just shooting a video, interviewing people. Now, over the past 8 years, I have content on my interviews I've written online. I have video interviews that I've done, blab interviews. I've created lots of content. My thing now, I started to sit down here over the past couple of weeks and see how can I put that content in a program. Because people were interested, say, Jim is a master at content creation. I never looked at that as something of something that I can monetize. Just like I created about a couple months ago, I was going to do a talk on creating your own TV show, because I've been on Periscope, been on Blab. I have some technical background on how to do that, and all of a sudden I started people getting very interested in that.
Yeah.
And I think that it's all about your branding, because one thing maybe we should talk a little bit about. You have a brand. You know, you are a brand. My brand has evolved over the past 10 years, but now I believe I have it where I think it really works for me. So you want to talk about that? Because you've written 6 books. You've done a lot of things with your brand. Can you give your story a little bit about your brand, Tanya?
We all have a brand. You already have a brand. Everyone already has a brand. You could tweak your brand, but realistically, when people meet you, this is who you are. And you have to sell to that person, right? Because a lot of times I see people, they try to make a brand fit them, and then they're trying to get this whole group of people that you're not building a community, because no one is in alignment, because you're not in alignment with yourself and you're not in alignment with others. So you really have to look at what it is that makes you special and unique, and then emphasize it. You know, I always thought it was a negative to be nice. You know, nice people finish last, you know, all those kind of horrible things that we say about it. And then one of these days I was like, you know, forget that. I am going to be the nice person, and I only want nice people around me. And my brand really blew up, and my community started to gel away from the people that I didn't want into the people that I do want. So, you know, I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah, I agree. I think that having a cool community. So for me, you know, I can reach out to some of the PSA members that I met at the conference, and I have. They've appeared via Skype, some of my PSA events. You have as well. Some of them I've written about. Others we're working in conjunction to create something down the road. And I you know, just because I met them once, we've talked. Like Dylan Raymond, I've had numerous conversations with him. He's written an amazing book, and now he's doing things on Periscope on his brand. So I think that we all have that different niche, and that's why the PSA community for me has been huge, where I have hundreds of people in North America. We have individuals who have written books on authority. We have written books on networking, branding. There's so many great insights that I can just go click on that person, click on their website, see what they're up to, and go from there. So I believe you can start making a brand today, but you got to do some market research and go out there and shake some hands. You have to get connected. You know, get connected in the 21st century, and you can do that in so many different ways. But this Blab is great. You get to. I was on a couple of Blab shows yesterday, just listening. There was a Blab show on follow-ups yesterday. A Blab show on follow-ups. They were just talking about follow-ups. I was like, I love this. I clicked in for about 10 minutes, and they were talking how to build. They were talking about relationships. It wasn't even about follow-up. It was about relationships.
I know it's such a small community right now. You could do so much so quickly on Blab. People see me on here. The other day, I was just kind of bouncing around to other people's shows. By the way, that's brilliant to do. If you have your own show, go on other people's show and just comment and be nice and be awesome. And so I went on there and someone was talking about testimonials and I didn't know who these people were. Well, they're like one of the biggest blabbers that are out there, the Caucasian, whatever, how you say their name. And I just mentioned something nice about testimonials. And one of the guys goes, "Oh my gosh, there's Tanya. We should bring her in." And I'm like, really? And so they invited me in. I gave my little 2 cents and they're like, "So who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh," and then I gave them a tip about putting their website onto the side. And they're like, "What do you mean?" I put my website in and they're like, "My gosh, I didn't even think you could do that." So you help people and then suddenly you're able to be on other people's platforms, getting exposure to their community. And if your branding is right and people can see who you really are, then you're also going to drive the right people to you. And you're just leave those other people alone.
Yeah, I think it's such a great story, and that's why I get to go on Blab a little bit. I've been encouraging some of my PSA members who they started their own Blabs. I've been on their shows as a guest already. I think I lost track, Tanya. I must have done I've done 10 Blabs, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I've done Blabs on movies. I've done Blabs on networking, the art of asking. So it's a really cool platform, and I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to being a guest here and sharing because we are in an environment now where we can do this
exactly
and learn. So, but one of the things I'll tell people is that whenever you have an opportunity to meet someone, and just because you don't know them, find a way to connect, even via Skype. Even if you can't meet them, there's Skype.
Exactly.
There's a phone. Just because they're not near you. There's a person who was 3 hours away from me and say, "Can we talk via Skype?" He goes, "Absolutely." The next day we're on Skype.
Yeah.
And we had a great conversation. So it's not about maybe getting in a car and driving somewhere sometimes. It's about figuring out how technology can help you. And you can have a great conversation via Skype. So, but again, it's all about that vision. Okay, I want to make money, but what do you have? I had my last PSA event. There was a woman who works at a bank, and she wanted us to get into speaking. She had no idea what to talk about. We did a little mastermind. I took a page out of the mastermind book again, and we mastermind. What topic could she talk about? Go out there and test it. Come back in 30 days and see what. And she was like, "I can do that? Of course." She goes, "I'm up 2 days." She's up 2 days a week networking, so just throw it out there.
Yeah.
So she was passionate about a couple of things. So she will find out in 30 days what she found out.
Yeah, this is the problem that I see for a lot of people is they want to make money, they want to be a speaker, but they don't want to go out until they're perfect. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. And you don't ever want to be perfect. If you're perfect on stage, you don't make sales. If you get the standing ovation at the end, you did not connect that crowd. And always people are like, "What do you mean?" You do not want a standing ovation. When I got off stage at that one the other day where everybody basically signed up with me to go further, not one person stood up and clapped. Why? Because they were writing down in my little forms and they were engrossed with what I had just said. And that was only after a 15-minute talk, right? So a lot of times, I mean, if I get that standing ovation, I'm like, dang, I didn't connect with them. Because you want them in their head and they want you coming over to them. I had this huge line of people and other people are like, "I'll just talk to you later. You're obviously too popular right now." You just let the line form and get through people as quickly as you can so that you have that connection. That's what you want after you speak.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, I'll give anybody a big tidbit who's watching here. One of the things that I share is come early, stay late. So wherever an event you're going to, go early. When you go early, you can meet the organizer. Maybe they may be running around a little bit, but connect with them. "Hey, my name is Jim. I'm here at the event. Do you need any help?" Sometimes, I'll tell you a couple of stories. I've been early events, and the organizer's running around. A person is late or something. They say, "Could you help me out?" You know what? You build so much credibility when you can be of help to someone when they're in such, and trust me, things happen to organizers all the time. I've stepped in, and the organizer gets on stage at the end of the day, And then happened to be twice in last year, near the end of the year. They actually said, thank you to Jim Pagiansis for helping out for 15 minutes because I was stuck. Right. Everybody, look, who's that Jim guy, right? So you want to be that influence.
Yeah,
so come early, stay late.
And you want to offer to help. And this is what people are like, well, I am one of the main speakers. I shouldn't be helping. No, amazing things happen when you put your foot out there and ask them and give them insights. I was at an event not too long ago. It was in Hollywood. It was fabulous, right? It was all these incredible people there. The person that was putting on the event, she didn't have anyone introducing her. And so I just came in and I said, hey, would you like me to introduce you so that you come on stage and someone is doing it? I said, it's great for video too, because she was videotaping it. I mean, she was so grateful. She was like, I never thought about doing something like that. Now, yes, you're helping that person. That is awesome. But it's also about more stage time, more face time. So from the very beginning of that event, because I'm there the entire time, I'm building relationships the whole time, I show up as someone that they need to know right from the beginning. They see my face. I'm not a stranger. It is so powerful.
Yeah, Barbara Rubel says, as a keynote, I often stand by the registration table and say hello. It's a fantastic thing. I've done that a few times. I got an MC story. So one of the events I do with the Canada Job Expo, I approached the organizer and I said, listen, we should put like an MC at this event. He goes, okay, you do it. Like, okay, oh, wait a minute. Wait, that didn't come out very well. This is a true story. I just threw
up the idea. You do have to be careful about what you suggest.
But yeah, it was like, oh man, I didn't mean me, I meant somebody. So here's a fast forward version. I did it for a few times, and then I went through my network and I brought in a couple of women at different times to do it, and it went really well. It gave the speakers time to prepare themselves for their talk, and it actually was a break point to set up the next speaker. And yes, I did it around. So I was speaking and I was emceeing, and I was like running a marathon. I was like, woo, but he said it helped break the event up a little bit. It helped people, where's the washrooms, what's happening next. It dealt with some positive negatives in the event. It's okay. You're gonna have those situations. So, and then I did another event. I got hired to speak at my friend's event last year. And I was just to help out. And then the last minute, he says, Jim, can you introduce the speakers? I went in, I literally read off a piece of paper, and it just created that extra part. People were approaching me at the end of the event going, oh, that was a great talk. What was that Speakers Association you're talking about? The last thing I said, feel free to speak to me about the Public Speakers Association. So even being an MC is a very valuable tool. I've done it numerous times in the past 2-3 years. And again, you create that again. You do that extra, and people do notice that.
Yeah.
So even this would be a good tip. Say you want to speak, you can go see if you can MC an event potentially. Just 2 minutes out, like we're doing the Blabathon here on the 22nd, and Tanya says yesterday, I'm looking for some interviewees throughout the day, because Tanya's going to need a break too throughout the day. So she threw out who'd like to help, email me, and then we can work it out. So that's an opportunity to say, okay, well, I'm gonna be speaking at 8:00, but maybe around 2 or 4 or 5, I can come in and help out a little bit, so Tanya can have a little bit of a break, have a lunch, have a dinner, and go from there. So I think opportunities are there around us. Yeah. It's about you going out there and grabbing it.
I think that's the biggest part for almost everybody is they don't grab that ring. They see the opportunities and they don't jump at it. And, even when we're talking about, making money, that really is how you make money, is you take those opportunities. I get people all the time. They're like, oh, Tanya, how do I become a keynote speaker and get paid, $5,000, $2,500, $10,000, whatever, as a keynote? And I'm like, if you wait for that, you're not only going to starve, but you're not going to create any momentum. So it's about really, all of myself, my friends that are all 7-figure speakers, we all do the same thing. It's about exposure factor, getting out there for people to hear who you are over and over again and build the relationships for those that do have the opportunities and that can get you in.
Yeah, like even just a friend of mine just did he was in a panel discussion a couple of weeks ago. He hadn't done that much. So I coached him a little bit as to what to do. And he had a situation on the moderation panel. He called me up. He says, this will happen to me. I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. It means nothing. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And he thanked me. He says, you know, I appreciate you being available and helping out because it really hit him hard. Someone said something that wasn't really nice. Right. And I said to him, you know what? It's just their ego. Just move forward. And he had a great time. He got to meet some influencers. And again, people that don't be moderator on a panel, a great opportunity. You're trying something new. I've done it numerous times, and I always get accolades when I do panels because I'm including not just me, the speaker. You're speaking to other people, and I think it's about momentum. Is my favorite word.
Yeah.
You got to build momentum. I call it the mo, the big mo. You got to build momentum. And one of the things that happened to me over the past 8-9 years is I built momentum. I spoke everywhere. I spoke at social services. I spoke at schools, whatever I could. And the reason I think I become a better speaker and a more polished speaker, and all those ums and ums are literally gone, is because I went out and I put the hours in. Mm-hmm. You've got to put the hours in.
Exactly.
And that's how you will get better at the word whiskers all of a sudden disappearing.
Oh yeah.
They will disappear. Yes, I have the uns and ahs, but all those they were more visible years ago, and now they're very they're not as noticeable as they were 10 years ago.
Exactly. And there's going to be opportunities that happen that you can't even pay for. I mean, it just blows me away. Like my 7th book coming out, called Mission Critical Messages is the name of it. It's a compilation book with Tracy Repchek. I mean, the people that are in that book, oh my gosh, it's already hit #1 on Amazon. Incredible group of people. Why did I jump in on that opportunity? Because I saw it and I saw who was involved with it. So of course I jumped in. So a lot of times it's about seeing an opportunity and doing it, making yourself just say yes. And then you just don't know what's going to happen from there. And from that, some of the other people that are in the book, of course, I reached out and now we're building these relationships and I got booked for a big gig that they're putting on. So you just don't know, but it would have never happened if I hadn't said yes.
Yeah, I think it's important what you just said. And this is where opportunities happen sometimes. I have been gracious enough to meet some great influencers in the U.S. And some of them say to me, when can you come down? And I tell them the situation. They go, okay, maybe later in the year. But I'm being honest with them that I want to build a relationship and that I'm very interested in doing it. So I don't want to be, I just applied, just 2 days ago, I applied for an opportunity. And 2 hours later, I got an email back from the organizer. I almost fell off my chair. I was like, this is exactly what Tanya talks about. So I got an email back, and it was, thank you for your interest, but you've not been selected. And the last sentence says, we will keep your information for future events that may fit this particular. I said, that's exactly what I was looking for. I said, yes, the first paragraph I didn't like, but the last paragraph I felt better because they will keep me when another event happens in that topic area. So one of the things I'm doing is applying for more events, even though maybe not the right event for me. I want to get to the process and the momentum of applying for them.
Exactly.
And I just told Tanya this 2 days ago. I applied for in Toronto we have the CBC. They're looking for daytime hosts. I actually did a little video and I sent the application in. I won't find till August if I get selected, but I did it anyways.
Exactly.
I went on Facebook. I told a few friends, and they said, "I'll do it." I said, so I was a little bit nervous to do the video. I went in front of the CBC and I shot a video because I was in the neighborhood. I go, brilliant, in front of the building. That'll earn me some brownie points.
Love it.
I feel that I'm capable of doing that, and I won't know unless I apply.
Well, and it's, about utilizing other people's people too. One of the things that I see that a lot of people do is they see something and they're like, oh my gosh, this is my target market. I need to speak there. And they put all their effort, and because it's all about them, there's no movement. So I'm going to be speaking on Mark Allen's he's got the late night health radio show. It's a massive market. He's a massive connection. So I had him on my show, right? And we were laughing because behind him is a whole bookshelf of all these books, and he had just got in a fish tank. Someone mailed him a fish tank. He doesn't know who it is, except for her name is Monica, but he has no idea. She didn't put any of her contact information. I was like, what horrible marketing. But all those people are people who want to be on his show. They're dying to be on his show, but they don't get it. I'm on his show. I didn't send him a book. I didn't send him an aquarium. You know, because it's about the relationship that I met him instantaneously at an event. I immediately told him I wanted to help him. I wanted him on my show, and then he reciprocated. Most people are givers. They just don't like to be attacked, you know, when you meet them, right? Especially the bigger names.
Yeah, like I said, interesting story. I mean, I started a radio show about 3 years ago, and my friend Deanne pushed me in the corner and says, Ben, you've been a guest on all these shows. Why don't you do your own show? And I was nervous to do my own show. Well, let me tell you, it's going to be my 4-year anniversary here in August. I've done 26 shows, and I've interviewed Olympians. I've interviewed other amazing individuals. And you know what I did? I actually just reached out and said, listen, I had this radio show about 25 minutes. Would you like? And I was nervous of some of these people I asked. Nervous. I mean, I interviewed an Olympian. It was a great, great show. And I think that for me, it's pushed me to the point where, listen, just ask and just wait.
Yeah.
And I call it the power of ask. Me and my friend Suji co-write a book called Power of Ask. If you don't ask, you'll never know.
Exactly.
So just ask.
And a lot of times
there's one guy.
You know, sometimes you've got to look at, you don't know what's going to happen. You just put yourself out there. And so I met a lady on Facebook. We chatted because I always try to get people off of Facebook and have a chat. And she invited me out to have dinner when I was there locally in her area. Okay. And then she brought in a friend, and her friend was like, hey, come on, you know, I've got a yacht. Let's go yachting. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't bring my yachting clothes, but, you know, I did it anyways. And this lady, we just hit it off. Some parts of it is about hitting it off with somebody. And yay, Cheryl's here.
Hey!
And you're not glitching, yay.
This has been a challenge. I thought my whole computer was gone. It was telling me everything was gone. I apologize.
Sometimes you just have to stop and reboot and try again. But anyway, so I was on this yacht, and we just hit it off, and this lady's like, you need to be connected to this lady in Hawaii. She goes, she doesn't like, you know, getting connected too often, but I want to connect you. And I'm like, fantastic, you know, you just don't know where those opportunities are going to happen until it happens. So Cheryl, tell us a little bit about you and what you've got going on since you finally made it on. Yay!
Well, this has been an exciting year for me because I have been in 4 books, and the first book made international bestselling, and that was about a year ago. Then I started getting calls, and I've been in 4 that I've been invited to be part of. Do you hear an echo?
Just mute me, Tanya.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, after that, I just started getting calls from different people to help them with different things. And I always say yes. If they want me to speak for free, fine. I'll go anywhere. And I think it's about, like you said, relationships. I've been in Toastmasters, and I go to speak at chamber events or anything that somebody needs. And I've been asked now to be speaking a lot about my books, and I've gotten to go to some conferences that are for women. And it's been amazing because then just about a month and a half ago, I was invited to go to New York. I mean, not to go to New York, but New York called and asked me, would I be a radio host? So I started that this last Monday night, and it's to support and help families who are caring for special needs children, or if they've got even a military person who's come back that's now got to be cared for, or if you've developed MS or MD. I mean, accidents, anything can happen to all of us in our families that we need to care for someone in our family full time.
And I love that you're
parents.
going out there and you're speaking and you're getting your message out there, because that's really what it's about, right? It's changing lives. And I see people that are out
you
there.
got to be passionate.
Exactly.
And I went last week to California, and I got to get to be in the presence of Brendon Burchard, which was wonderful. It was his High Performance Academy. And I didn't realize what I was in for. But while I was there, I got to meet these amazing people. I've networked with them, and we've exchanged emails. I'm sending cards. I'm following up with people. And you've got to do that. But the amazing thing is that everybody that asked me what I was doing, and I said, well, I'm starting this, they would go, wow, this is such a good time for this. You're at the right time to start a movement in our country. But I hope it's a global movement where we are supportive of people instead of bashing them so much. I hear, even like our politicians talking about all the abuse and fraud and everything, and they want to cut everything. Well, guess what? You're cutting the people that have no other way to have an income, and the families can't make enough money to support them. It's just impossible.
Well, that's what it's
wonderful.
about, getting out your message. And we've got the fabulous Ms. Raven Glover on. Yay! Raven's got her own radio show. You're the Raven, the radio show maven. Talk show maven. I always get that wrong. I always want to say radio. You do more than just radio now. You're like all over the place.
Yeah. Well, we just invited, but first of all, good morning. And thanks for inviting me and Tanya. Good morning, Cheryl and Jim and everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, I am known by Raven as a talk show maven. Some of them people call me Queen of Blab, which I got that title.
I wanted that
Queen
title.
of Interview Conversion. Yeah.
I want to be the king of Blab.
And we got a question from Jonathan. I wanted to speak in groups in my community. How do I start? That's why I created the Public Speakers Association. It's about connecting with people there locally and then beyond. Because what I see happens to a lot of people is they're so focused community-wise that they wonder why they never really kind of get going, because they're not reaching out beyond that. Do y'all find that in your kind of talks?
Yeah.
Jim. Wait, let me unmute you. There you go.
So one thing I'll address John's question is lots of organizations are looking for people to do lunch and learns or morning breakfast events in your community. Just put the word out. I'm available to do lunch and learns in communities. You'll be surprised. On LinkedIn, Facebook, tell your friends. That's what I did. And I got invited all the time to do lunch and learns on many topics bigger topics, but on many topics. Go out there and just tell people you're available. Put the word out.
And I was going to say, I love what you're saying there, Jim, and because you're telling people to pretty much take control of the situation themselves. I think a lot of times we wait for people to come to us, but in the world that we live in now, everything is reachable. We just have to command what we want and go for it. So I always teach my clients, if you want to be a speaker, and if you have an apartment, rent a clubhouse, find some space, something for like about under $100, get a group of people and don't worry about how many, get your first 5 or 10 in, do your presentation and make an offer. If you want to be an author, like congratulations, Cheryl, on your books and all the stuff that you're doing. But if you want to be an author, then, you become a self-published. Don't stop waiting for people to tell you when you can speak. Cheryl mentioned that she has a radio show. I teach people how to have radio shows and labs and periscopes and all that stuff. But more importantly, how to take it from a hobby to a business and make money. And so everybody can just get out there and do their thing. Stop waiting on people. This is a free to be me, free to be you world. The right people will be attracted to it.
Exactly. Just like you, Jonathan, you have your communications person, right? I went into your little blab to see who, and by the way, I'm following you. So, it's all about getting communications out there. And it's all about letting people know who you are. That's why you do these blabs. That's why you do my Blabathon on March 22nd. You're utilizing other people's people, and we still have that echo. It's driving me crazy. And
okay, let me hold on 1 second. Let me just put this on. It may be me.
Okay.
Close your ears. I'm going to unplug this. Okay. Let me just do this. Sorry about my hat being in y'all's face. Okay. Is that better?
Tanya, I wanted to say something about Public Speakers Association. I want to just say that that's been a great open door. I've spoken for many years, and I did it starting mostly in churches and with women's retreats and everything. But being part of this group has provided more opportunities for learning all the new ways to reach people, and you get to exchange, not pulpits, but you get to exchange speakers with other people. You learn how to market yourself from the back of the room, which I didn't know how to do. I mean, I've had a huge learning curve this year of learning Periscope, Blab, learning how to create the modules, create the things that are successful. And this is just a fantastic tool. And then being able to host people from other places, even on the virtual summits like we do on the monthly basis, has opened up doors to meet people, and then collaboration. That was so much fun. I'd never done that before. And then I got to know people that I had the same interest with, and then I had them on my program. So it's great. And if you're not part of this, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, Tanya has an awesome platform. She really does. She's done an amazing job in the community and the work that you do. And I know from having communities myself, it ain't easy. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you don't even know.
Well,
and I think a lot too is about, when I first started Public Speaker Association, one of the reasons is people kept going, how are you finding all these speaking opportunities? I'm like, well, I do a lot of research, right? It costs me a lot of time and money to find these opportunities. And then I'm like sitting there, I'm like filled out a form. I'm like, well, it seems like it's a waste that I'm not getting the message out there to others. And so I was like, well, what if I created an association where I'm sending those speaking opportunities to people after I find them, right? And then create other ways, because it's all about, and that's what I love about you, Raven, and really Jim and Cheryl, all of y'all are about creating a community and about leveraging opportunities for each other, right? I think that's huge.
Yeah. Well, it's all about, it's not about us. It's about how many people we can pass, whatever our blessings is. You have a blessing of doing great research, bringing community together, helping people that want to and have the hunger of speaking to have that opportunity. Because otherwise, what will happen is we'll just keep waiting for, the opportunity to be on the stages of Jack Canfield, Lisa Sassby.
Y'all froze.
That's not going to happen.
Does everyone else see them freeze, or is it me that's froze? Oh, there y'all are.
Are we okay?
Yeah, okay. It froze for a second.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I still hear that echo, and I know I've got everything cut down on this end. But, that's not going to happen unless we throw ourselves out there, like Jim was saying. He gave you the spiel. And see, this is the thing, guys. We think we have to say a lot. Sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot by saying too much. Less is better. Right, Jim? Just go in there, pick up that receiver. I always tell people, pick up the receiver and have the mindset that you're looking to reach out to the people that are ready to receive what you have to offer. And if you're offering your time and your presentation to them, attract the right people. And if they don't want it, so what? Next. Keep going. Next. Keep going. What we normally do, as you know, Tanya, we make 5 or 6 calls, we get 5 or 6 no's, and then we never do it again. You're 3 feet from the goal. Yeah. Don't do that.
Well, and I even saw there was a lady that was a member of the Public Speakers Association. This is the ultimate why people should not ever stop doing things. Is you don't see, especially in today's world, we don't see the momentum, because it's not like when I had retail stores and people walked in and you saw that transaction, you saw them coming in and what they were gravitating to. Right. Now people are on the internet. They're like all over the place. So there's a disconnect because we don't see the momentum we're creating, right? We are connecting with, people that are here, that are on this show right now. Here's Nelson, who is, by the way, has a brilliant picture of himself. I love your picture, by the way, Nelson. But, when you start looking at kind of creating those momentums for yourself, you don't know what's happening. And one of the things that, and Cheryl, I think yours is on. You may want to mute yours every once in a while. Somebody's is on. Yep, we can hear you even though I've got you muted. one of the things that I was telling you, this lady joined the Public Speakers Association. She was on the virtual summits every month. She was on, on my TV show. She was doing all of this stuff, and she was really awesome. It was amazing, her abilities and what she was trying to help people with. And her year came up and she's like, I'm not going to renew. I think I'm just going to quit the speaking world. It's just not working for me. I'm like, no, you're just like right there. You just don't see it yet. And she's like, I'm just done. I'm just so done. And I'm like, oh. So she leaves. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. So there's called, hello. It was one of the Fortune 100 companies had heard her talk on a summit, and she's like, I need to get a hold of her, but I can't find her on your website anymore. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. She's no longer a member, but I've got all her contact information still. She goes, you're kidding me. I can't believe she quit. I hate quitters. What is it with people who quit? And I'm like, I don't know, and she's like, well, I just got all of this approved. I went through this whole process to get her training approved with our company. She goes, I just feel so bad. I'm like, well, I can connect you to somebody else that's in that genre. And she's like, yeah, because I don't want this $100,000 to go to waste. Hello.
My goodness. My goodness.
So,
wow.
We all are at that moment. We just don't know we're at that moment. And I never did tell her because I thought it would. I've been back and forth, right? I don't know what y'all would crush
her, but in a way, it would teach her don't give up. In a way, I don't know about now, but maybe back then, had you done it, you could have gave her maybe, okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign back up, But I think you did the right thing. You passed it on to someone else. But if you talk to her, say, hey, this is what happens, because she needs to really feel the pain. So she won't go out there and do it again. And sometimes, those are lessons learned.
Yes.
A blab, I teach my clients that, when you're doing your own show and you're having guests on and panels like you, Tanya, then, think of it being your TV show. But get out here and let people see you train what you do. I have my Rock Your Interview talk show. And then I do a lot of interview series. So what I do is I teach people how to interview, but during the morning, I am training so people can see me in action. And I get speaking engagements from that. I get clients from that. Then they come back and they see me interview Jack Canfield. I've had the blessings of interviewing Brendon Burchard years ago. They see me interview these people, so they're connecting the dots. Okay, she's not just training this. Now I get to see her actually do it. So I said all that to say this for everybody that's here in this room, look at Blab two ways. Number one, it is a chance for you to have your own TV show, a chance for you to be an Oprah in your niche. Number two is it's your own breakout session where you can get clients and people and see you speak. So you don't even have to leave the house to be a speaker. Jump on here, invite people, do your thing, and then tell them at the end, hey, if you have an organization, a meetup group or something, or you got an upcoming telesummit that you would love for me to come speak at, here's my link. Go ahead and do it. Right from your kitchen table. Ka-ching. Did I say ka-ching?
Exactly. And a lot of it, too, is about creating momentum with the people that are resonating with you. I love clicking on people's names. That's why I went to Nelson. Jim has said something. I'm like, oh, who's Nelson? So I click on his little picture. His picture pops up. And then I read a little bit about you, right? And I'm like, I just love his picture. And then you see a little bit about their insight. Jonathan, too, right? It's like, he was in communications. How great is that? So it's immediately, you can create a lot of momentum here on Blab or anywhere if you reach out to people and say hello, and you find the people that are resonating with you, because a lot of times we just randomly do things and we have no strategy.
Yeah, actually, Nelson's a friend of mine. Nelson's a friend of mine.
I personally do it Monday through Friday, so I do it every day unless I'm speaking someplace or, but I know a lot of people do it once a week, which works really awesome too. And Cheryl, you're still on.
I just was sending a note. I think that echo is coming through Jim's because I can mute his and I don't hear it. I was wanting to say something about connecting with people too, because just before I got on this program, I happened to be looking at someone who was talking about, don't look at my wheelchair, look at me. And I'm thinking, there are so many people I didn't know I'm going to need to connect to that are out there. And so I am so excited because the internet is offering an opportunity to do something we can't do in our own neighborhood sometimes. That's why my radio program on Monday night, to help support families that have wheelchairs or in their family, or if they just have some kind of a care system where they're having to totally work around these people. It is just amazing how they are so in their own worlds. They think I'm first, or nobody else has gone through what I've gone through. And by connecting us on the internet, like the Blab, this is a new tool I'm learning. But these people are going to be able to be home. They don't have to leave their home to have the support groups. And a lot of them would never get support because they can't leave home. So I'm excited about the connections that we can make on the internet itself. It's wonderful.
Love it. And that's great. So it's right to a great moment. Cheryl, tell us how people can reach you. Put it over to the little chat area. And if you've got a free offer for people today, feel free to give them that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Over
tell people.
On the right.
Yeah, but go ahead and tell them first, and then you can punch it in.
Okay. Well, I have a website that's called Courage to Overcome, and they can get on there and find out about the books that I'm in. They can also sign up for some free offers. I have a video that talks about some of these things, also about the radio program. So I would love to connect with anybody that feels like they have a story, and I might be able to interview them. This coming week is going to be about autism, and I have several people I'm interviewing, so I may have to do 2 weeks because I am trying to approach the topic of autism by saying, do you believe that it is caused by vaccines or not? Because that's a huge problem. And I was visiting with a lady yesterday, and she said she saw somewhere that pretty soon most of our boys are going to have autism. Like, what? Where have you found this? So I don't know that that's true. I just want people to tell me, where do you find your information? Is it right or is it not? And maybe we can do some things that change our world to prevent some of these problems. If it is something in the environment or something that we're doing to our own living in some neighborhood, injecting ourselves with some kind of vaccine that's not tested well enough. I mean, we don't want all of the diseases we had as children, and we surely don't want polio back. But if there is something that can be done to test it a little further, I mean, there's a lot out there that we just need to learn. But by sharing, we'll learn so much more. And I'll be quiet and let somebody else, and I'll put my information there. Thank you.
And mute yourselves because it doesn't mute you on this end. All righty, Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about how they can connect with you?
So my name is Jim Puggy-Amsis. I run 21 Connections to help entrepreneurs learn, speak, and socialize. I can put my link here at the bottom, and what I do is you can go to my website and you can download chapters from my book on LinkedIn, how to present, networking, leadership, and that's my gift for you today. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you.
Perfect. And Jim, I don't see it
I'm going to type it in now. I'm going to type it in now.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And then Miss Raven, what do you have for us?
Well, you guys feel free to get in contact with me if you're, looking to have a radio show. You can go to womenpower-radio.com. I'm sorry, amazingwomenpower-radio.com. So feel free to do that. And I am having my live event. Well, first of all, I'll be speaking at her event in June. So I'm excited about that. I'm having my live event, Red Carpet Interview Secrets. That's in June. You can go here and check that out. And if you want to find out more about me, just go to awaptalk247.com. And when you're ready to turn your show from a hobby to a business, to a six-figure business, make sure you connect with me.
Awesome. And I'm also, let's see, what did I thinking? I typed it all out and then it disappeared. Don't you hate that? So I've got the Public Speakers Conference coming up. That's what Raven was just talking about. And we are going to have a blast again this year. It's amazing. It's June 26th through the 29th in Palm Springs, California at the Hard Rock Hotel. So we're going to have a rocking good time. We also go to the website and apply for the we've got nominations open. Raven, make sure all three of y'all need to make sure that you get yourself nominated. Okay. So we've got both local, national, and international collaborator of the year. And so especially if you're a speaker, you want to be a speaker, it is incredibly important to have on your bio something every year that you've been nominated for. If you win it or not, it doesn't matter. So I've got a whole list of things I've been nominated for. It's just almost as good as winning. And guess what? You may actually win. So go there and get yourself nominated. You can have someone nominate you, or you can nominate yourself. My panel really, really doesn't care if you nominate yourself. So just get it done. We also have a contest on there for a video contest. It's really a presentations. It's short, 5 minutes. Do it on your phone. It doesn't have to be professionally done, but it's your message. The best business tip, the best personal story, the best, I mean, there's a gazillion categories, health and wellness. I mean, just name it, it's on there. So go ahead and submit your videos so that you can also apply. And we've got an amazing offer right now. It's only $349. Early bird is about to go up. So make sure you jump on that. We're about to send out a bunch of free offers from our amazing lineup of speakers like Miss Raven, myself, Scott Schilling, who has sold more from stage than Zig Ziglar even. Wow. Is amazing. We've got Teresa de Grosbois, one of the top influencers in the world. We've got Tracy Rebchak, one of the most biggest women marketers out there on the internet. I mean, you just name it, we've got it. So go to the website, check it out, and get involved. And then I also put information about the Public Speakers Association. We would love y'all to join in, get connected, let us help you market your name, get your message heard so that you can go out and change lives. Plus, we've got constantly sending out speaking opportunities. I just sent out 11. I'm about to send out a bunch more so that you can just go in and apply for them and go speak at associations, corporate conferences, industry conferences.
Love it, love it, love it.
So we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to unmute everybody so we can all say goodbye. So bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Nice and kudos to Tanya. Let's give her a hand. Yay! With the plan, with the speaking plan.